Well, guys, I did say on my social media today I had a bad feeling about this game before kickoff that I thought we might get battered, but I did not see what would go on to be a historic loss for Chelsea in the Premier League era. We've now conceded more goals than we have in any entire season in Premier League history. Chelsea have now, the 5-0 loss to Arsenal represents the biggest loss in a London derby for Chelsea in Premier League history. Our biggest loss generally was 6-0, which was against Man City with Maurizio Sarri. I remember that game. Possibly, no, it was at the Etihad, so I wasn't there. But anyway, this is monumentally bad. For context, two funny players for the narrative scored a brace in this game. Trossard scoring is, fair enough. Kai Havertz scored a brace, and Ben White scored a brace. So, let's talk about an absolute horror show. Oh, guys, welcome back to Football Therapy. Commiserations to everyone in the world on planet Earth that supports Chelsea, because this is nothing short of a disgrace, top to bottom play. I mean, I do feel bad for some of the young players that have been thrown out there. Very poor from the manager. This situation reflects so badly on the sporting directors in terms of like that centre-back investment with the Monaco guys. We just need to talk about that. Congratulations to Arsenal. They played magnificently. Barcelona in this game. I've said before, though I think Man City are like, you see my cat Mia playing in the background. Though I think Man City are, the best club at the moment in the Premier League and in the world. Arsenal have been the best team this season. They've scored the most goals. They've conceded the least, I believe. And they before I rip those Chelsea so-and-so's apart, let's be real and congratulate Arsenal on a wonderful performance and a wonderful season, as much as I hate it. I'm a Chelsea fan. I want Arsenal to get relegated. That's my inherent position. But at the same time, I'm a big boy. It's a football match. They played really well and they've played great this season, and they deserve all the plaudits that they get. Those absolute knobheads. We're going to talk about everyone, Jackson, Pochettino, everything. Let's talk about how we lined up. When I saw this lineup, obviously the narrative was we need... I can't even say it. Pochettino said in the pre-match press conference, we need to prove that we're not Cole Palmer FC. Well, did this game prove anything regarding that? Maurizio? Pochettino, mate? Eh? Gee, it's enough to make a man sick. Let's talk about our starting defenders, shall we? This was our third choice defense, guys. Maybe apart from Cucurella, which is possibly the second choice left back. So, people will have their opinions on Chilwell and Cucurella. I still think Chilwell, fit and firing, is our best starting left back. He's a Champions League winning left back, left wing back. So Cucurella is second choice. So that's our best part of the back four, our second choice left back. We had our first choice right back is of course Reece James. Maybe even our best player, even with Cole Palmer. I think Reece James is insane. And then of course Malo Gusto, second choice. I don't know if Alfie Gilchrist, I've nothing against the lad, he's a good player and I hope he does well at Chelsea, but he's a development squad centre-back that's playing at right-back. I probably would have rather Disasi play there. So maybe fourth choice right-back? I think he should have been anyway. And then the centre-backs, so who's Chelsea's first choice centre-back partnership? Young, dynamic. Wesley Fofana, Levi Colwill. First choice. Alright, so who's your second choice? Well, probably the guys that started this semi-final at Wembley recently. Thiago Silva and Trevoh Chalobah, also starting centre-backs for the 6-0 win. So what's the third choice then? Well, it's probably the boys we spent 70 million odd quid from Monaco. This is my cat. Imagine she has no idea the pain that's going on right now. You just get to be a cat. You don't know the existential crisis I'm in. You'll go to sleep tonight. I'll be laying awake thinking about how much I hate my football team. And you, mate, just have a lovely time. But you can't be on the desk right now. So yes, those French guys we bought from Monaco, disgraceful. Awful. Badiashile looked like he couldn't pass. Just terrible. And out of that back four, Cucurella, I know both our fullbacks were riding yellows for ages. Cucurella, I've nothing against Cucurella. I think he's the only one who looks like he's concentrating. The midfield pivot of the underperforming Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, who's taking injections apparently before every single match because he needs a hernia operation. And then we've got Gallagher back in the 10 when he's not a number 10. He's a good footballer that sort of works hard and is a good system player and loves Chelsea. And the absence of Cole Palmer, Noni Madueke plays on the right, Mudryk plays on the left, and Jackson plays up top. We saw substitute appearance, elite. Did you see? And our bench was like the only player that I thought could come off the bench and actually affect the game positively in an attacking way is Carney Chukwuemeka. And he's pretty much the only player that wasn't brought on. But Pochettino was just freaking out. And we'll talk about Poch, don't worry. He's going to get his time. So he just played a back five and brought on... So he brought in Chalobah and Silva, the guys who probably should have started. But granted, whatever, it might have been a fitness thing. And we played against Arsenal's 4-3-3 with Partey joining Odegaard and Rice in midfield, Havertz as a false nine, Trossard flanked by Trossard and Saka. Possibly, Arsenal fans will probably tell you this is their first choice starting 11, and they played like it as well. The first half was horrible. Badiashile conceded it would have been a penalty had Havertz not been offside. Literally within the first minute, like 40 odd seconds in, he conceded what should have been a penalty had Havertz stayed on the side. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be a long day. Maybe my forecast of this going to be a battering is going to come true. And of course, they scored in the 4th minute. Declan Rice assisting Trossard. And to be honest, man, the fact how we got in at half time, right, with just 1-0 down. And I'm seeing stats at halftime saying we had 58% possession. We had 70 more passes than Arsenal. I was like, what? I mean, that blew my mind. And some stats saying we had a higher XG than Arsenal, which did not feel right, but that's apparently the case. And we started the second half pretty well. So in my head, I'm thinking, wow, if we can somehow find a vibe in the second half and snatch a draw here with what I deemed a very, very weak and dysfunctional lineup, then I will be laughing. But no, they scored 4 goals in the second half. In fact, they scored 4 goals in the space of 18 minutes. I repeat, with a real Slim Shady, 4 goals in 18 minutes. 1-8, not 80. 4 goals in 80 minutes would be very impressive. But what about 4 goals in 18 minutes? 1-8. Ben White scoring just to ruddy mech out of us. Kai Havertz with a brace within, what's that? 8 minutes odd? And then Ben White tries to scoop one in for a cross and accidentally scores again in the 70th minute. And somehow we get away with a 5-0 loss because they had 20 minutes. I think maybe they probably felt a bit bad for us. Understandably, the Chelsea fans fled. Probably because their eyes were bleeding, and I don't blame them for that at all. And when Chelsea were stringing some passes together towards the end of the game, Arsenal fans were singing "Olé." And why wouldn't you? Because every single, opposition fan base were doing that. Obviously, if you're smacking up Burnley 5-0, you won't do that. But Arsenal, of course, they deserve it. In fact, I applaud them for the shithousery because they should do that. We beat them 6-0 on Wenger's final game. We took the mick out of them. This is part of the game. This is what you sign up for. They are obligated to absolutely take the so-and-so out of us, mate. They have to. So notable moments in this game. Noni looked good for about 5 minutes. Mudryk did a nutmeg and then disappeared. Jackson missed 2 sitters. Ali McCoist was going mad about him, but praising everything else he does. He does do some stuff good. Look, many of you, everyone's rightly going to be annoyed. I'm friggin' annoyed. But, don't look at this game and think, right, well, Jackson's poor confidence and finishing at the moment is the reason. Because, yes, obviously, it could help if he scored. One of the, he jumped up. Conor Gallagher put in a perfect cross and he did some weird, karate chop jump. He does everything else right. He's obviously massively in his own head when it comes to finishing. And it's affecting now easy chances. Look. I don't think we should flog him. I think he's a good player. I think he's got the makings of a good player, Jackson. Especially his double digits for Premier League goals in this side. I think he'll be a useful second striker, a useful second left winger at times. I think Jackson's the kind of player that when the team plays better, he'll play better. I think he's feeling way too much pressure at the moment, being like this Chelsea striker, and Drogba. Drogba tweeted about him yesterday, defending him, saying he's going to be good. And when Drogba tweets, you got to sit down and listen, man. But yeah, they're just personified. They're all terrified children, and they got absolutely terrified today. But so who's to blame? Well, for the moment, everything's to blame. You could like individual talents. You could think, Mudryk has raw capacity, or Noni looks good in moments, and Jackson's good for a few goals and assists, and he can play a few places. Conor Gallagher never stops running and loves Chelsea. People will have their own stances and opinions on the £200 million men of Fernandes and Caicedo. At the end of the day, you can be disappointed with their underperformance, but these are two players in Caicedo. I know I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you have to step outside Chelsea for a reference point, don't you? Liverpool bid £111 million on Caicedo. They were like, yeah, we'll give you 100. We'll smash our transfer record to pieces for Caicedo. Arsenal wanted to pay a lot of money for him as well. Fernandes, best young player, the World Cup winner, shown in moments. Dysfunctional, just not working at the moment in Chelsea. That I'm not going to do that back four again, because that back four's tragic, absolutely tragic. And I think Pochettino has a lot to answer for this game. You can have all the sympathy you want for him, and I do at times, and I was very happy with the 6-0 win against Everton, especially considering Everton went on to win their following game 2-0. So that was a great result for us, it was a good performance at Wembley. Everyone again was saying, for the second time in a row, Chelsea, play better than their opposition at Wembley, but end up going out. It's obviously exactly what you don't want. Chelsea, I'll be very happy to play worse than the opponent and go through, obviously. But everyone's talking about these green shoots and moments. But this is just magnifying glass of all our weaknesses and frailties together. And that is the risk of this youthful recruitment all at once. And when you don't have any seniority in there, they fold and panic. Poor investment in some players. Sure, Palmer, amazing investment. We'll look at Santos and Paez in the future and think that's maybe a good investment. Maybe Noni was quite cheap actually. I said Gusto Palmer. Jackson, I still think long term will be good for the cheap money we got him. But you also we overpaid for the midfielders because there was a problem position. But I'm looking at these French centre backs, these Badiashile and Disasi, and now more than ever, I'm thinking poor. But at the same time, the chopping and changing from the manager, the chemistry of let's look on the other side of the pitch, shall we? Saliba and Gabriel, amazing centre back partnership, because they have a deep chemistry and understanding of each other, which has made them the best centre back partnership in the Premier League. Obviously, Badiashile and Disasi played together at Monaco, but not on a good side. They finished 6th or something. So there's a lot of chopping and changing. No players are settling next to each other. So what happened? Has this medical team gone to Pochettino? Oh yeah, you can't start Silva and Chalobah again. They're red zoning, so just throw another couple of random centre backs in there. Is that what's happened? Like because I just don't have any words, bro. That backline is tragic. That backline is disgraceful in its performance. And Pochettino's got a hold of massive L. I'm sorry, bro. I don't care. Like, people like, I've always tried to maintain my position. I just don't think he's the guy until I know there's someone better. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? I see people on social media flip-flopping every single game. Like after the League Cup final, he had loads of people saying, look, that's not his fault. Or maybe not the League Cup final because his subs weren't great. But like certain games, certainly the semi-final against Man City, everyone was like, look, this isn't Poch's fault. He coached a 4-0 game and everyone was like backing Poch again on social media, especially after coming off a 6-0 win. And there's been moments like that throughout the season. And now, of course, Poch out will trend on social media again. But you have to look at the body of it. And not even this, like getting slapped up by Arsenal 5-0 is embarrassing and historic and it's just a bad loss. But we've conceded the most goals in a Premier League season in all our history since like 1992. I mean, after breaking the transfer record in a central defensive midfielder, after spending £70 million on 2 French centre-backs, of course, Thiago Silva's a legend and Chalobah's... Is he Champions League winner? Was he in the squad, Chalobah? Or did he sort of come through afterwards? I can't remember. Under Tuchel. Point being, good players, But this is... what I saw today was frightened children that not only didn't know what to do, they just weren't front to back. Petrovic, I said like opening his legs like he worked in a brothel for that first goal. We could have gone in and... I don't know. It's tragic top to bottom, man. And as a reminder, but this is us this season. You have no idea what we're going to get. Look, I didn't think we were going to win, but had we'd won this game, we would have gone above Manchester United. We would have gone level on points with 6th place, which of course is Europa League qualification. After, I know it was a big if winning this game, and this would have been our hardest fixture in our run and done. It would look good. People would start saying, actually, yeah, Chelsea Europa League finish. But people were thinking, that's unlikely. Probably lose 2-0 to Arsenal. Very professional job from Arsenal. Keep a clean sheet, score a couple of goals. Maybe Havertz scores one, embarrass them. But no, the optics will go catastrophically worse than that with a 5-0 gubbing. A Ben White brace with it. Look, Havertz can score, whatever. I ain't got beef with Havertz. Yeah, of course he's going to celebrate. We sold him for 68. We got good money for him. And he was on massive wages. There's no real narrative there with Havertz. He scored a massively important goal for us, so I'll forever be grateful for him. He doubled our numbers for Champions League trophies, which, of course, Arsenal would love to have just one. And he came to Chelsea for as a job opportunity, not because he loves Chelsea or wanted to play for Chelsea. And then he saw it was going a bit tricky. We didn't want to pay him those high wages, saw an opportunity to sell him. He went to a club that were trending up and they're having a lovely time. Good luck to him. I ain't got any problem with Havertz, so I'm thankful for his work and, good luck to him. I wish he wouldn't score goals in this game and ever again against Chelsea, but do you know what I mean? Why? It's the same with Timo Werner going to Tottenham. I've got no issue with that whatsoever. They're not guys that grew up Chelsea fans. I weren't even here that long. Just sort of doing their job. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent here. Historic embarrassment. I think Pochettino will go. They won't sack him now because what's the point? There's literally no point, because we might get more 6-0 wins like the Everton towards the end of the season. It's unlikely, but that might happen. Do you know what I mean? So wait till the summer, but I think he'll probably go. I think they'll analyse the body of evidence and be like, nah, We've spent too much money to be this bad. Let me know what you think. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I wish I could do the Men in Black, forget flashlight trick to you guys, but you're going to have to just carry this L like I'm doing. See you soon.